Hello everybody. Tonight I am going to model this lamppost, which I was inspired to do because I was driving around in New Brunswick and I saw these lampposts here, and I thought they looked really cool. And I think they are Everest lampposts. And I saw this one, I took some pictures, and I thought I was going to model this, and then I went looking around and I found these pictures. I'll try to link to them so you can get this one, but in particular I'm going to be really probably just using the one. That one, it's the best angle I could get. It's not purely orthographic. I've gone ahead and I've modeled it just to see what it would be like, and yeah, we're going to give that a try. There's various amounts of detail we could put into this. I modeled this originally with a cylinder, but I think I'm going to do it a different way. Some of it anyhow. There's a couple of different pieces. This is a separate piece right here. Okay, and this is a separate piece, and this is a separate piece, but all of this from about I think it's here down is one piece, and then that, and then these ones here. Yeah, it's pretty high poly in order to get it smooth, but anyhow, yeah, let's give it a try. I'm already in Cycles Render. Okay, I just like to use that so I can use GPU compute, and I'm going to get rid of everything here. My screencast keys are on, and what we'll do is we'll go to the side, press 3 and 5. Okay, and so we're going to bring in that background image. So you hit N, and you come over here to background images, add image, and I'm going to switch the axis from all views to right, and I'm going to hit open. And we've got various ones, but this is the one right here. Now you'll notice it's not centered or anything, so this is going to be a little bit of a problem. You just start pulling here until you get it as centered as you can. 0.56 we'll try. You know, that kind of gets it down the middle of this, but it's not necessarily there, but that's maybe 0.57. No, 0.55. And we may have to adjust that a few times. Okay, so that's roughly the middle there, and I'm going to move it up. So that's this one, just so that the base is pretty much down there. And you can see it's not quite centered, but that's not really going to be a problem. I don't think so. We'll hit N to close that, and we'll start off bringing our first object in right here. Shift A, mesh. We're going to use cylinder, and we're going to switch the vertices to 6. Hit 6, and down here where it says cap fill types, change that to nothing. Okay, we're going to go to edit mode. So I'm going to hit tab to go into edit mode, but you could do it down here. Go to edit mode, and we're also going to hit Z and choose wireframe, or you could do that down here. Okay, and then just hit S and start bringing it in until it pretty much matches the size. Okay, the width at least. And then we're going to scale this in the Z direction. Okay, to make it sort of flatter. So we're going to go SZ, and you'll see that it sort of centers it around the pivot point, which is the 3D cursor. So, you know, we'll end up with that shape. Hit 3 to go back to side view. Now again, because it's not orthographic, sideways is a bit of a perspective. It looks a bit weird. So, you know, we could pull that up to here so that we could start doing the cylinder down there, and that would be just fine. Or you could pull it up to here. Whatever. I'm just going to put it down there. Okay, now. The next thing, and I'm just holding the middle mouse button so I can sort of pan around. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to close off the top. I'll leave the bottom open. I'll go out of wireframe. Don't need the diagram for that. I'm going to just shift Alt and click this edge, and I'll select the whole edge. I hit E and S, bring it in a little bit, and then I'm going to fill it by going Mesh, Faces, Grid Fill, and I'll leave it at 1. That's going to be fine. Now we're going to put a subdivision surface on this, and so if I do that right now, if I go back in object mode, and you see I've got my shape there. If I come over here to the wrench and choose add modifier subdivision surface, it's going to go all circular. I'm going to click 2 for now anyhow. But if I go back into edit mode, I can still see my shape, and what I'm going to have to do is put some edge loops or supporting edges in here to sharpen up these points. And so I'm just going to hover my mouse here and go Control R. You'll see a pink line. Click and drag close, but not exactly on that other edge. Close to there. I'm going to put one on the other side as well. I'm going to do that all the way around. This one will come in on the side. That's fine. I just want to make sure that all of these edges, you see the way it's putting another one on this side as well. I just want to make sure all of them have 2 edges around them. So go around. I got 1, 2 on that side. I need another one here. And I think I've got them all. Now let's have a look at that. You can see it's starting to take shape. We can do a little bit more for this. I'm going to go Control R, and I'm going to pull an edge loop up to sharpen that. Deselect and go back into object mode. I'm just hitting tab and doing that, and we get this. Now I hit smooth and that is pretty much the shape that I'm going for. Leave the bottom closed because we won't see that. Let's hit 3 and come back, and we can see that it's tightened up nicely. Okay, so now we're going to start modeling this part, and I think the way I'm going to do this is just by laying down points and dragging. It's going to take a little while, but we'll get a nice result. I might scale it, hit S and scale it up a tiny bit. Okay, so the way I want to do this is I'm going to go into edit mode, and I want my 3D cursor. Well, I suppose it's all right where it is. We'll just leave it so it's not complicated. So we're going to do this part. Now obviously this part, this cylindrical part, is going to rest on this shape right here. So we're going to have to do some, estimation. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go Shift A, Mesh, Plane. I'm going to bring in a plane. I'll pull it up a little bit. So there it is. I'm going to go to edit mode and make sure that my vertices are selected. And I can do that down here. Vertex selection, edge, face. Let's go to vertex. I'm going to go Alt M, merge at center, and I get 1 point there. Okay, there's my point right there. I'll actually take this, I'm going to move it out to about here, and I'm just going to start modeling. Now I know that I'm further down than in the diagram, so we're just going to make this part work. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm roughly out at the farthest point here. I'm going to go E and G, and I'm going to pull up to about there. I believe the diagram will get a little bit better as we go up. So here's what we're going to do. So we went up to there, and now we're going to simulate this band by going E and G and just come around and just try to make a curve that comes back to the body like that. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to look just fine. Okay, now with that done, I'm going to go E and G, and I'm going to pull all the way up to there, sort of following this angle. You don't have to get it exact. Now we have another one of these rings, so I'm going to go E and G, and just add as many points. E and G, E and G, E and G, and come right back to the body. Okay, or as close as you want. Okay, and if I go into object mode, you'll see what we're getting. Now what we're going to do after is we're going to spin this around. We're going to create the entire circular profile of this, or cross section or whatever. So back into edit mode, select that point, E and G, and let's come up to here. E and G, E and G, I'll come out to here. This part's pretty straight, so I'm going to go E, and it's going to pull up with the Z arrow. Now what to do here, we're just going to bring it in, E and G, a little bit of a curve to maybe there. E and G, and this part's pretty straight again. Now, if I don't like the position, I can grab both of those and pull them in a bit. Don't worry too much about this. This will all get sorted out when we do subdivision surface. And it won't look exactly like the diagram, but that's okay. E and G, just come on around, curve. Use as many points as you want. Get back to the main body. Don't worry that it dips down here. We're not looking directly sideways. Okay, we'll see how this looks. Okay, we got a big long stretch, E and G, and bring it out. Now we can zoom in. We still got that point selected, so we can pull it in tighter if we want. Now we have this shape kind of going up, E and G. So I'm going to come up to maybe here. It's a little bit fuzzy, I know. E and G. Maybe I'll come up straight, relatively straight. E and G. Now we're going to start coming in and notch it in. I'll come in a little bit more. Looks like there's another little bubbly round thing, so E and G will come out. E and G will come out here. E and G. Just sort of use your imagination a bit, make it your own lamppost. It doesn't have to be exactly the same. E and G, let's come up here. Let's do another one, E and G. Just have fun with it, you know, don't take it too seriously. And come on in here. And even if you can't see what it does, then just make something up. It should look good. Just E and G a bunch of times till we get to there. And we're getting there. Oh, we're gonna go all the way up. G. Okay, if you can't see, just drop it and then grab it again and pull it this way like that if you want. And zoom in and then just G and pull it over to there. And do another one of those kind of weird things coming out. Come out to here. I'm gonna go straight at this point. Let's give it some rounded and some, and then just, when you come out of a straight area, round it a little bit. G, just come in, just sort of follow along like little ants walking around. E and G, I'm coming to here, and then I'll go up straight to there. Is this where it's going to end? No, we still got another piece to go. Okay, E and G, come out a little ways, round it a bit, dip in. E and G, go up straight, then I'm going to come out a little bit of a lip here. That's good enough. E and G, we're going to come up straight, and then we'll angle it in. Okay, just pull it up. Okay, like that, and then G, grab it, and come to here. We're going to, and that's actually where it ends. This piece here is part of this. So I'm just going to pull it in a little bit more. That's it. Let's go back to object mode. Okay, and this is what we've got. Okay. Now, one more thing we should do is let's take this and hide it. And that's what I've got. Okay. Okay, with that selected there, I'm going to come over to add modifier. I'm going to choose screw, and you see it's circled around. That's the right axis. I'm going to close that. Don't have to change anything. Add modifier, subdivision surface. I'm going to go for 2 for now. The colors look a little bit weird. I'm going to have to flip this of my polys in a minute. So with the subdivision surface there, I'm going to come back to the screw modifier, and I'm going to just click apply. Then I'm going to go into edit mode, select it, and go Control N. And hopefully it's flipped my polys, and you can see it looks pretty nice. Alright, now what we are going to need to do is throw in some edge loops to sharpen this up here and there. Okay, so I'm going to go into edit mode again, and here's my object. I'm going to go Control R here, and I'm going to pull down close to this ring. I'm going to come on the bottom of it and pull up. And that will have just sharpened it just a little bit. I'm going to do that in many places along here. Up to here, and in between, down there. You see that white stuff there? Crush that out by doing that. I'm going to come up here and down here, and that will sharpen that just to give you a little bit more definition in this area, unless you like that bubbly kind of look. I do, but I'm going to put one down here and here. Now this area, there's a lot of stretching here. It's a long area with no support, so we're going to come in. I'm going to zoom out because it's going to put the edge loop around the middle. I'm going to pull down, click, and then I can zoom in and I'll pull it the rest of the way. Now you may get that happening, so a good way to do this is go GG, edge slide, and pull it down. In fact, we're going to need another edge loop for more support, so click, drag, pull down, close. Don't pull them on top of each other. Let's have a look at that area now. Not bad. If you want this a little bit sharper, do we? Not particularly, no. Now we're going to come up to this area. Control R, pull it up. I'm going to bring in more reinforcements. All right, think of these like the bones of the model. Okay, this is a long stretch with no support. Let's come into here, and not a lot I want to do in here. I could put an edge loop here and pull it down. That'll just sharpen that a bit. I like this, but maybe we'll go in the middle, will we? No, we won't. I'm going to put an edge loop here and bring it down, and here and bring it up. Often you go up and down on both sides. See the way it's a little bit sharper there? This area's got some problems, some stretching, as you can see with this white stuff. So there's a long stretch, so if I just am zoomed in, I go Control R, I don't know where my edge loop is, it's way up there. Pull until you're very close. I'm going to bring another one in for reinforcement. Nice and close, but not overlapping. Let's have a look at that. Just going back and forth to edit mode. Make sure your object is selected. We're going to have to do that near the top. Control R, bring it in close. And then if you lose your selection, you can always zoom in, Shift Alt and click, and then you can either pull up, but that may change the shape a little bit. So better way is to go GG, edge slide, and it'll slide along the original edges, but it'll go slowly. I need another one. Just like that. Okay, I'm going to do some work here. Control, just working our way up and down the model. Actually working up, pretty much. Okay, let's make sure that we save. This will be the lamppost video. Save, save, save. And then you decide, do I want it this kind of smooth, or do I want some more definition in there? There's a lot of edge loops in there. It'd be a little bit tough to do that, so I'll just put an edge loop here. That'll help. I don't always have to pull one up. It depends how I feel, but this area here is going to need, because you see this sort of dark and then light. I don't know if that shows up on camera. It means a little bit of stretching. So I'm going to pull an edge loop down here. That's going to make it look nicer. See that? Very nice. And then we'll go right up to the top, and I do need a supporting edge loop up here. Okay, 25,000. All right, let's go Alt-H and bring back our base. And now we can look at this and say, okay, I think we need to make this base bigger. Will it match the diagram exactly? No. Does it matter? I don't think so. Let's grab this. In object mode is fine. Scale. Shift Z. Maybe not in the Z. Just make it wider, like that. You could put bolts in that if you wanted to. Okay, now, in my model, in the diagram, we got these structures here to give it a little bit of more texture, so let's do that. Now that'll come in here. Let's have a look here. I'm going to take this edge and go, no, I'm going to leave it there. All right, I need to make those indentations, and I'm going to do it in this region, but I would like to have a more a smaller area where I put these in. In other words, I want to bring another edge loop up near the top and another edge loop down near the bottom. And I'm going to do those indentations in between. I'm going to switch to face selection. You can do it down here. I was in edge or vertex face. I'm going to Shift Alt and click one of these lines. See, and it selects all of these faces going around. I just want to do my little indents here instead of having all of this region selected. I just want this inner region. So once all those faces are selected, Okay, I just went Shift Alt and clicked. Okay, zoom in nice and close. I'm going to press I twice. I. I'm going to pull my mouse in and out until I get a region with some separation like that. Click. Got a bit of separation there. Okay, now I'm going to hit E, click Alt S, and I'm going to push my mouse up, and it's going to pull them in. Now it's not going to pull them in nice and square. It's going to pull them in like that. Now don't feel you got to pull them in too much. Just a little bit like that. You can undo this and do it again. With that done, I'm now going to put more edge loops. I'm going to go Control R with my mouse in the middle somewhere. Control R. I see what looks like a gear. Click and pull up until I see that starting to sharpen. Not right to the end. It's maybe there. I'll do a similar distance near the bottom. Like that. Let's go out and you'll see we've got our indents. That looks a little bit much to me, so I'm going to back out of that. And I think I lost my edge loops, or maybe they're still in there. So I'm going to go Shift Alt and click there. I'm going to get my regions again. Pull my mouse in. E and Alt S. And I'm going to pull in, but just not too much this time. Just a little bit. That might be around the same. Put your edge loops in. I have a feeling I did around the same depth anyhow. Maybe it's a little bit less. All right, we'll go with that. All right, 30,000. That's okay. Now, on some of these lamp posts, I think if I zoom in on this, you can see those indents all the way along. We could look at doing more. We could try it and see how crazy. What if I just put them on this and on this? They're not going to be the exact same size. That's okay. So I've got a pretty well-defined area right here. So I'm just going to go Shift Alt and click there, and Shift Alt and click there. I think I might be okay. Let's try zooming in here and going I, and just maybe adjusting the size a little bit. E and Alt S. Be careful, don't come in too much. Let's try it. I can always back out of it. Bring an edge loop up to near the top, an edge loop near the bottom on that one, and on this section near the top. You want them a little rounded. That's why we don't go all the way down to the bottom. Let's see what that looks like. I didn't come in very much, but it doesn't look too bad, so I might do it again. Notice we jump from 30 to 39. I'm going to Control Z a couple times. I'm out of there. Let's go back and do it again. I do think I might want another edge loop in here. I may not want those designs to go all the way up. Okay, I'm just going to define a region. I want them in there, and I'm going to want them in here. Okay, so in face selection, Shift Alt and click that area, and Shift Alt and click that area. Zoom in, I, get the size that you like. E, Alt S, push up. I'm going to bring them in a little bit further this time. Control R, drag an edge loop up to near the top. And the same thing near the bottom. Keep them rounded a bit. That'll also give some support for all the pulling that's going on with the subdivision surface. Near the bottom. Let's have a look. I think I like it. You want some space here. You don't want these indentations right down here, or it'll mess up. It's looking pretty good. These ones I still feel that were a little bit too deep, but it's done now. So, and I didn't put them on here, and that's all right. Okay. Let's look from the side and see where we're at now. I'm gonna have to do this in a couple of pieces. We need some kind of a cube here with a cylinder-like thing, and then this hat-like region, and you can see those indentations there, is a separate piece. So what I'll do is I'll model all of this as one piece, I believe, And this is one piece, and then all these things too. So I think the best way to do this is to sort of center things up, is to select your object here, go into edit mode, A, make sure nothing's selected, and Shift Alt and click that edge. That'll select the whole thing right there. It's nice and symmetrical. Back in the side view, I'm going to bring the 3D cursor there, Shift S, which will bring up this menu. Choose cursor to select it. Bring the 3D cursor to what I've selected right there. Deselect and go back into object mode. There's my 3D cursor. That means when I go to bring in a cube, it's going to show up right here, just close, instead of, you know, way down here or somewhere else. Okay, I'm going to want to bring in a regular cube, Shift A, Mesh, Cube, and it's very large, so I'm going to go into edit mode, and then I'm going to go into also wireframe so I can see. I'm going to go S. I'm going to scale it down. It's scaling around my 3D cursor, so I get the approximate width that I want, and now I can pull it up. Pull it up to there. Now, it's getting a little hard to see the diagram behind my object. So I'm going to hit N, and I'm going to come to background image right here. And here you can see back and front. I'm going to switch to front. That's going to put my diagram in front of my model. Press N. If I hit A to select my cube, I can see my diagram a little bit better. So I want to select this. I want to go into edit mode, actually. I'll make sure I'm in edit mode. I'll come out of wireframe for a second. Okay, 3. Okay, I'm going to select this face. And I'm going to pull, I'm not even in wireframe and I can see my diagram. I'm going to pull it up to where it seems it would need to go. This bottom edge is right at the bottom of the cube, but I have these parts here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in an edge loop, Control R like that. And that just puts one on that side. I'm going to put one on this side as well, like that. And then I'm going to go into vertex selection and select these points. Now, I want to do a test and see if I need more. It's probably enough because I'll put a subdivision surface. Okay, I'm going to do that. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm selecting the 4 bottom vertices. I'll go back to number 3. And I'm going to pull them to roughly match the diagram. Now, it might look a little bit weird. I've just done that. But by the way, this thing is rotated so that the point is at the front. I have it on the side, so just do that. Okay, with that done, I can select it and I can then go RZ45, and you'll see that I've got that indentation in there, but it's too big. So I'm going to scale S Shift Z, and I'm going to pull it in a little tighter. And we're roughly matching the diagram. It may not be perfect. I can also hit B and box select, but I got to be careful I'm not in wireframe mode. So in wireframe mode, if I want to get all my vertices, I can box select all the ones I pulled down, and I can pull them down a little bit less. I can do that kind of thing. Okay, well, I'm not going to do this little notch thing here. I don't think that's necessary. So let's go out of wireframe and just have a look at our shape. Okay, so this is what we've got. Now, we're going to put on a subdivision surface, but you're going to see it's going to go all funny. I'm going to go for 2 and smoothing, and what we need to do is, it looks like an egg, is put in edge loops. So I'm going to go Control R and pull down pretty close, and it'll start sharpening up. I'm going to put an edge loop up here and pull up, and then I'm going to put them around the edges because you can see where I pulled down, but it's very rounded. So I'm going to go Control R here and pull, Control R here and pull, and it starts to sharpen up. And just like before here, don't go them right at the edge. Just want a little bit of roundness. And let's see how that looks. I might need more edge loops. It's not too bad. I got this and I get a nice rounding. I think maybe I need to pinch this in the middle a bit. One there and one here. Not too close. And I'll get that. I'm not sure I wanted to do that. No, I don't think I do. I think we'll go with that. Let's look from the side. Now, we're going to build this cylindrical part right off of this. So before we do that, let's go make sure we're on wireframe. I can box select this, and I can SZ. I can flatten it a bit if I felt the need, if I thought that that was a little bit too exaggerated. Either way, that's okay. Yeah, so here's what we're going to do. In order to build that cylinder part here, I want it attached to this. You can bring in a cylinder, just push it in, but I want it attached. I think it looks better. Okay, so in solid view, I'm going to go into face selection and select these four. I'm holding shift, the bottom faces on the inside there, just like that. I'm going to go W to bring up my specials menu and choose loop tools, which is an add-on, which is probably already installed in your Blender. And if not, you just go over to File, User Preferences, Add-ons, and search Loop Tools, Mesh Loop Tools. Okay, make sure you got it installed. Let's save once in a while. So with those four selected, go W, Loop Tools, Circle. Now it looks a little bit weird. Just hit S to scale and just bring it inside your mesh. Okay, so I've converted that into a circle. And from side view, I'm going to hit E and I'm going to pull down. And it's approximately the width that I need. It's a little bubbly and weird. That's okay, because what we're going to do is I'm going to put an edge loop, Control R here, and push it back up. And it'll start to take shape. You see it's growing right out of the bottom of this. I'll do some touch-up work on this in a second. Let's go back into edit mode. Okay, and we are going to extend this down a little further. It's nice though to get rid of these faces, and then things will straighten out. Watch this. X faces. Now I have a bit of a sharper. Now it looks a little cleaner. All right, like it just goes from this cube-like structure right into this cylinder. So let's look from the side and see what we got to do. Now we're doing a different technique. I'm in edit mode now, and I may or may not have been in wireframe, doesn't matter. Doesn't match the diagram perfectly, just ignore that. Let's go into edge selection and shift alt and click that edge. Goes all the way around. We're going to pull this down a little further till we get to here, and then we're going to simulate these structures. We're going to just use a cylinder. Which is roughly what we got here. So I'm going to hit E, I'm going to pull down, and then I'm going to press S to make it go out a bit. E, and I'm going to pull down to around the middle position. Now these ones are straight, right? So maybe I'll pull to there, and S, bring it out like that. E, and I'm going to come down straight. E and S, I'll pull it down a little bit, like that. Okay, again, it doesn't match the diagram perfectly, but that's okay. It is centered around our object. E, I'm going to come down. You can E, come down a bit and scale it in a bit. I didn't hit E, did I? E, come down, scale it in maybe a bit. You can make this whatever, however you want. E, I'll come down and I'll go out like that. Actually, it's better to have a little flat region in there before you come out. So with E, I'll come down, and then I'll come out a little bit, and then I'll finish it off. E, and I'll come down like this, just to cover. Okay, let's have a look at that. So, I mean, I made some of that up. All right, we're going to have to do a little bit of work here. I want to close this off so it fits, and it looks like it fits a bit too tight. So I'm going to select this edge, shift alt and click, and this edge. I think I'm going to hit S and just scale them out a bit. So I have a, looks like it'd be a cap, it would fit a bit better. I'm going to shift alt and click that edge, and to close it, I'm just going to go E and S, and I'm going to pull it in until it makes contact. Now let's look at that. So it looks like it kind of fits on there. Now we can do some work on this and make it look better. So in edit mode, let's first of all work on this. Let's put an edge loop here, Control R, and pull it down. That'll straighten that out, and let's look. looks like it fits pretty darn tight. I wish it was a little bit wider, and I might widen it. Let's make this a bit sharper by bringing an edge loop here. And maybe we'll bring an edge loop on this big section here and here, up and down, not too tight. Maybe we'll put one in here. Looking at this going, what am I seeing? Okay, so tilt it a bit and say, you know what? I'm going to put an edge loop on the underside here and one more right here. That might be good enough. Maybe I need one up here. I will need one up there for support. I'm going to take this existing edge loop, shift, alt, and click, and I'm going to pull it down. I'm going to pull one more down behind it, like that. I'm also going to pull one more up this way. I don't like this connection. It's too tight. So I'm going to fix that as best I can. I'm going to, in face selection, I'm going to shift, alt, and click all these faces, and I'm going to look. Let's make sure I'm in solid view. I'm going to try and see where I'm at. I'm just going to go scale. I like that it's wider. This looks more realistic to me. Maybe I want it a bit sharper, so I put an edge loop in. I might be fine with just one. So it's a bit rounded and then a bit flat. Okay, so we've done it. We have done that other piece. Okay, so where does that leave us? We've got this and we've got this. I might scale shift Z, make it a little bit bigger, and then just come back and have a look and see if it looks like it's contacting. I think I like that a little bit better. Save. Well, somebody's awake, so let's just finish this off for today, or for now, by hiding the background image. Okay, we hide the background image, and we can zoom around. I can't really move very well. All right. Yeah. You like that? Can we hold down shift too? Can you hold down shift? Here, come here. You sit with me. You sit with me. There we go. Hold down shift. Okay. You hold on right there. Hold shift. We'll just manipulate this a little bit. Just like that. And what I wanted to suggest we do is let's add new. Let's click a green color. Make it a little bit darker. Same thing for this one. Let's do that, eh? And let's go Shift A, bring in a lamp. I'm gonna bring in a sun. Oh, it's so exciting. Let's just arbitrarily click R and do that. Let's switch the size over here to 0.4. Let's switch the strength to 4. And let's go Shift Z so you can start to see what you've got. Let's not forget to put the material on the bottom there. There. Does that look pretty? And there's what we got so far. So that's it for now. Okay? Say bye-bye. You say bye-bye. Bye-bye, everybody. We'll see you soon.